Hey guys, thanks for showing up for this recording. In yesterday's recording, I showed you guys how bloggers keep making money, and I think in that recording I walked you guys how we find profitable products on Amazon, then list them on Amazon as a process of validating the market. Ensuring that there is a real demand for the product, but at the same time also be able to collect the data and statistics that can be used to leverage when we want to launch our own product. And I showed you how we move from this process to actually sort of like creating our own product. And in that same presentation on yesterday's video, I showed you how we move on to sort of like push a product that's already on the market. We pick a product that's already on the market and is doing very well, and then we use a product like this to hack out our own product. That then we go and sort of like build a business on top of it. In that presentation, I also showed you guys how we move on to launch a blog like this one, that then sort of like builds the core system where we educate, we inform, and build an email list, so that when we are able to launch our product, the blog is able to move us from not only having just this blog, but as well having an e-commerce website like this. This is a proven concept that has been working for many companies that have been doing business. And in today's presentation, what I want is I just want to build on top of this. What I want to show you guys is sort of like some of the most unconventional ways that businesses are being built on a shoestring budget, based on the concept and the business models of existing, Fortune 500 companies. My goal is to sort of like help you guys understand the moving parts behind every business that's being built online. And I also want to share with you what I think successful bloggers who are getting richer and richer are doing to make the kind of money that they are doing. And there's sort of like this difference in terms of what successful bloggers do and what poor and struggling bloggers actually do. So in light of this, I also want to sort of like just to bring you guys to your attention some of the sort of like traits that you can go through yourself and kind of like examine yourself and see where actually do you fall within this. Okay, so I know that in yesterday's video I showed you how you could move a regular blog like this from launching there to making at least £10,000 within 24 months, and then taking that kind of money to go and create a product like this, which is your own product, and then launch an e-commerce website like this. So what I want to do now is sort of like show you, because now you know the moving parts in terms of how you could move from being just a blogger, but an owner of an e-commerce website on top of your blog. So you might think that this is where the story ends, but if you look at the product catalog which is available on here, you will notice that there are products that have been built on top of this. So there's a list of more than a handful products that are that are being sold on this e-commerce website. And it's all simply because when you are sort of like starting with a product like this, obviously you're not gonna create 10, 15, 20 products at the same time. The system that we're using is sort of like a simplified version of looking at the way how Fortune 500 companies are creating their products and then modeling them at a small scale. That's why we are what we call, small scale business ideas. The way how we look at it is that when you know how to start small and scale as you go along, you can build an e-commerce website or a business that has got 10, 15, 20 products on the market over a 10-year period. And in that, in my previous video, what I did was I showed you guys how to move from one point to another, and then building on the milestones you have achieved from your previous activities to build on top of the that, and then move on to the next level. So what I want is I sort of like just want to bring into contrast, into contrast in terms of what people who are successful at building, e-commerce website, whether it's you're starting with a blog and stuff like that, what they're doing and what others who are not necessarily successful doing. So the one thing that I noticed is that successful bloggers are very good at having this sort of like understanding to what delayed gratification is all about. On the other hand, when you look at people who are not successful at starting a blog and turning it into a real revenue generation, is the fact that when they start their blog, their main focus is focused on the instant gratification. They want the results now. I know and I understand that we're living in a world at the moment where Facebook, WhatsApp, and everything is sort of like instant. So if we want to speak to somebody, all we have to do is we can just turn to either on the WhatsApp or you can turn to Facebook, and if they are online, you can instantly start chatting to them and things like that. If not, you can just as well call them. So we tend to translate these behaviors into the way how we want our business to turn out, and blogging especially is the one thing that a lot of people, when they see somebody who is successful, they want to be like them. But what they don't realize is how much work goes in behind the scenes before you actually see how successful they are. And the other thing that I also noticed is the fact that usually people who are successful at running a successful blog and making money out of it, they're people who have a vision. So if you have a vision of launching your own product line where you are selling a handful of products on the market, you want to make sure that this doesn't, you should understand this doesn't happen overnight. It's a long-term goal. It starts by building a blog like this, then monetizing this blog with other people's products in the first place, build enough capital, then take that capital and reinvest in the business to go and create these products. And you create these products by creating one product after another. So there are a lot of moving parts for you to actually move from having a blog to actually achieving your vision. So if you have a vision for launching a product on the market, now it's time for you to actually look at, sort of like mapping out the route. How are you going to move from point A to point Z? People who are looking for instant gratification, people who have got a need, they're craving for, I want results now. They don't care about vision. All they care is about getting the results. It doesn't matter who they hate along the way. It doesn't matter how they get it. If it's attempting to take shortcuts in getting the results they want, they will do that. But unfortunately, if you don't have a vision, obviously the consequences are guaranteed failure. All right. And the other thing is, people who are successful in life, whether it's as bloggers or in general, they use what we call credit assets as a form of income generation. What do I mean by this? Okay, so for somebody who is starting a blog with a perspective that's sort of like with the mindset of somebody who is unsuccessful and has got no vision and stuff like that, their first point of contact is, if I had to start a blog today, or if I had to start a business today, I would need a bank to lend me money. Alright? That's very noble and it's understandable. But the reality of you actually going to the bank and say, look, I've got an idea for me. I want to start a fashion line. And this fashion line is going to happen in the next 24 months. So what I want is, I want you to borrow me 20,000 that can see me through doing that. They'll tell you you're mad and it's not going to happen. And if that's the way how you think, obviously that's the reason why you don't have a business today. So people who are sort of like looking at a long-term vision in terms of this concept where they want capital, but they don't have the capital, they go and bootstrap. And the bootstrapping stages, the best way to do it is you start your own blog. Because if I start my blog and put in 4 hours a week, I could write 2 or 3 articles and post on my blog. And in those articles, I promote other people's products. That's how this blog was built. But the main concept for building this blog was not necessarily to say, I want to keep on promoting other people's products for life. No, it was built purposely to drive traffic to this e-commerce website. That's why this e-commerce website receives about 70% of traffic from this blog, and selling over 3,000 units a month. Okay? So, guys, at the same time, if you look at this here, somebody who actually goes out and acquires a property on mortgage, he is actually getting a mortgage as a form of credit. But as you're paying towards your stay in your house, where you have somebody who is renting. Somebody who is renting is predominantly just burning the money out, because there's no value out of that. If you stay in a house where now you have a mortgage, and you are able to live in that house all your life, and you pay out the whole mortgage is finished, you would end up with a property that's of your own, and it's got equity in it that you can use as part of your retirement. But if I choose to go and live on a rented property all my life, right, and retire, I would retire with no property and with no savings. So, really, somebody who has a mindset that I want to be successful, I want to do this, they are going to do this, not necessarily focusing on the idea that I want to go and get credit just for the sake of material possession. No. People who are poor in judgment And there are bloggers who haven't got this sort of like vision where they are looking at 10, 15, 20 years in advance. They are only motivated by material needs. So if they are going to go out and get credit over whether is to sponsor their business and stuff like that, they are only looking for material possession. And the other thing is, bloggers who are successful now, they're people who have learned to invest in themselves. They go out and buy, training courses that can actually make them better. They look at best ways to improve on the skills and knowledge that they have. Somebody who is unsuccessful and poor in the mindset, they only think about, they don't think about investing in themselves and buying courses, or maybe buying a book that they can read and have a good perspective of what's happening around in the world. So you also notice that, successful bloggers, they are people who are actually buying and holding assets. Whilst on the other hand, unsuccessful bloggers, they are the ones who buy and use the product they're using it when they don't need it, or if they feel like it's out of fashion, they'll sell it. Here, this is an auction for domains. These are domains that people who actually bought them, used them, they ended up dropping them instead of renewing and actually renewing it, or even after they've renewed it and selling it. So somebody who bought a domain like this one here, malawimo.com, they used it and dropped it when it was worth $3,000. This domain, to renew it, probably it was $17 or $18 or $15 to renew this domain. But they decided to drop it just because they did think it was worth spending $15 to renew this domain. You can see there is no shortage of what is happening. And as you can see here, you can see the buy now price here is $2,695 for this domain. And if you go through the list here, you can see, look, I'm Malawian myself. Right? That's why I think I'm kind of like predisposed, obviously, to look into what sort of lost opportunities Malawians are throwing away on them online. And this is not exclusively for, it's not exclusively happening to Malawians alone. Every day, every minute, there are thousands and thousands of domains coming online, being auctioned, simply because the owners who owned those domains, they decided to drop them, and this is what is happening. $4,977 lost. Just because of what? Just because of $15. Just because of a $20 investment. If they decided to get this domain, renewed it, and put it up for sale, they could collect this money. And this domain is gonna close in 8 days' time. This auction finishes in 8 days' time. And the one thing that's guaranteed is that in 8 days' time, this money is going to be going into somebody's bank. Now, the question is, who do you think is profiting from all this? There are people who have built businesses simply by selling expired domains. People who have built businesses who are selling this. That's why when we talk about starting a blog and building revenue streams online and things like that, we're not only looking at opportunities, or I should say, something that you can make out of money as only launching products like these and stuff like that. No, there are so many ways that I think you could easily start working on a blog and making money out of that. By the way, I provide web hosting to small scale businesses, and this business started in January. I've started about 5 web hosting companies. I think about 5 of them, and all of them, they started simply because there was a need for me to meet something else, and because there was no space, there was nothing in the space, I had to start something from scratch and build it to something that's more profitable and kind of like a dream come true. These things come easy to me, but they're things that I had to learn from other people who are doing it. In January, we didn't have a business. This was started out of a need when I went to Malawi and discovered that there were some problems in a previous business that I owned. Knowing that there was a need for me to cater for my customers in Malawi, and I didn't have I didn't have a business that could look after customers and stuff like that, I had to start this company. We registered it. We incorporated our company. We opened the bank accounts and stuff like that. By the end of January, we had I think we had 15 customers. In March, we were at 750 customers. Now, just stop for a minute. All right? Just for a minute and think about this. Okay? These are packages for the web hosting. Okay? So if you have 1,000 customers who are paying you a monthly subscription of at least £18 a month, you do the maths. Or maybe if you have a customer, 1,000 customers who are paying you at least £10 a month, you do the maths. So it's not rocket science. We know there are no web hosting companies in Malawi. And yet, since January to date, we've managed to get about 260 Malawian businesses web hosting with us. And most of them, they have this package. The rest have come from Zambia, Uganda, Kenya, Nigeria, India, United States, Canada, Australia. So even though this was set up to cater for Malawian businesses and stuff like that, having had problems with the other business that we owned, we end up serving customers across the globe. Okay? So, if you buy a domain and hold it, over time it builds, value. Bloggers who, bloggers who are successful, they exercise patience. When you look at somebody who is just unsuccessful and exercises poor judgment, they lack patience. There are people who are very impatient on what they're doing. They just don't have, the backbone to actually have patience and look at everything that's happening around them with a long-term perspective. So, to actually be successful with your blog and stuff like that, obviously, you are going to need to have a proven system that you can follow and stuff like that. On the other hand, bloggers who are not successful and exercise poor judgment, they're constantly on the lookout for shortcuts and loopholes. If anything doesn't offer them a loophole, they won't be interested in looking into that. What they want is they just want to jump on something that can give them a shortcut to getting on top of everything. But in business, more especially where you want to build a blog from nothing to having at least up to, to making up to £3,000 in 3 months, and then building on top of that to making £10,000 in 12 or 24 months, and then scaling that business to launching your own product. That sort of like grows into multiple products that you are actually selling. That takes patience. It takes looking at a proven system. And the system that you can actually easily look at is simple. Look at this company. This company has been around for ages. Gillette. These guys, they're in the business of selling shaving stuff. Right? But what they understand, what they know is not everybody loves, wet shaves. Some people have sensitive skin. Others have got a need for using shaving foam. But they've also been sort of like, building on top of changing technologies and reinventing the same products. These guys have been in business for years. They've been in business for decades, and they will continue to be relevant because all they are doing is not reinventing the wheel, but reinventing the way how they interact with the customer base. And these guys, they also understand that their business is evergreen. There will always be women who need to shave their legs. There will always be men who need to shave their beard. When new kids are graduating into adulthood, into teenage, their testosterone, their hormones start kicking in, and they start growing hair and stuff like that. They become customers to products that they have always seen in their bathroom. If my dad used to shave Gillette, obviously the marketing to me was done by seeing my dad using Gillette. Obviously, the brand is ingrained in my mind. So if I needed to shave, the first thing I think, let me go grab a Gillette laser blade. Alright? But if you go on the market and look, you find that there are a lot of products that work similar, or more or less like the same, even better than Gillette. And the very same shop, businesses, they also have their own market share. If I go into a shop now, I'll find, if I go into Asda, I'll find a shelf full of more than 15 brands of shaving sticks. Why? Because these products, they are targeting the same market, and everyone is able to carve their own, their own share of customers. And that's where the education part of the blog comes in. That's where now You're able to build a relationship with your customer base. When you build an email list, you keep emailing them and sending them the reasons why using this product would help them more than using the other products that are already existing on the market. And this product is just a hack of an existing product on the market. And it's not just this. That's why when you go on here, you can see Clearing Tonic, Acne Treatment Serum, facial cleansers and stuff like that. All these products, they mirror another existing product that's on the market. That's why when I was showing you guys, when I was sharing in that video that I posted yesterday, I said, look at this product. These guys are massive, 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 massive. You just can't. These guys are big. But it doesn't necessarily mean that everyone is happy using this product. If you go on Amazon and look at the reviews for this product, you will start noticing a pattern, and you start seeing why some people who have used this product, they want to be able to buy this product again. But does it mean that the problem they have has gone away? No. Which means they're on the market looking for an alternative to this. That's why we come in. So we go and create a problem. We go and create a product that answers the other problems that this product is not answering. That's where your next product is going to come in. Alright? Follow a proven system. And there is no better proven system than what I've just shown you guys here. Gillette. These guys are the best example of Fortune 500 companies that you can emulate and create your own product that you can actually launch on the market. But there's a process. There are steps. There are things that you've got to go and learn. And that's where we come in, you know, with our small scale business ideas. We help small business owners start small, gain confidence on the market, and become better and bigger. Why? We've done this. We're doing this every day. It's not like we're not on the trenches. We are on the trenches. So, successful bloggers, they are those who are self-restrained. They are people who know how to control their emotions. They don't act based on how emotionally attached they are to a project. If it's not working, go on the drawing table, work at it and see what you could do. Those who are not successful, they are people who are not disciplined. They have no discipline at all. They don't even have a system they can follow and say, this is what is happening, and this is what I need to do. I mean, they don't even have data they can look at to find the best way of making sure that they understand and make decisions based on the data they have in their hands. Successful bloggers, they are insightful and transformative. On the other hand, if you look at unsuccessful bloggers, they are full of insights, but no transformation. Why is that? Insight is perfectly okay, because what it means is that you know and understand exactly what's going on in your life, why whatever you're doing is giving you the sort of results that you're getting. If you've had a job for the past 20 years, and you still run out of money every day, at the end of every month, you're waiting for another check to drop into your account, and you still insist on staying that path without actually exploring other ways of doing this. That's what we're talking about, insight. You know exactly why you're in a situation that's causing you so much problem. Doesn't matter whether it's a bad relationship or lack of money, or maybe a problem with your weight and stuff like that. Stop. It's okay to be, to have the insight, but it's not good enough if it's not offering any form of transformation. For you to actually to be transformed, you need to take actions. You need to put a system in place that can actually walk you from point A to point B, and then you know that now I'm on point B. What do I do to get to point C? Alright? Successful bloggers, they focus on things that they're working on, and they stay focused, and they're not driven by goals. They're not driven by results and stuff like that. Their goals drive them. So it doesn't matter whether they are working today. Alright, let's say for example, if you launch a YouTube channel today, you post the first video, second, fourth, 10, 15, 20, and 200. And you don't see people coming to watch your videos. Your channel is not growing. You're not seeing the results that you wanted to see. You would equally or easily say, this is not working, I'm going to walk away. But that's not what successful bloggers do. They start a blog, they publish 10, 15, 20 articles, crickets, no traffic. Do they give up? No. Only unsuccessful bloggers would actually, go and launch a website, run it for 1 year. For 1 year, they have been publishing on this website, alright? Building links, publishing content and stuff like that, building brand awareness, and building this value. This domain, when it was first published, when it was registered, it was zero. It didn't have any value. But it was developed to a point where now it was worth $5,000. And what happened? The owners dropped it. Why? Because they fall under this. They are driven by results. They are not driven by their goals. So if my goal is to launch a blog today, and in 2 years' time I should be able to launch 10 products on top of that blog so that I can build an e-commerce website, I would go and do that. That's why I said, guys, look at this blog. This blog was purposely built to educate, to inform, but the long-term purpose was to actually be able to launch a product like this, alright, and build an e-commerce on top of that. Why? Because an e-commerce website like this, you would have to go and spend money to drive the traffic so that you can have people buying from this. But instead, this e-commerce website has about 3 blogs that deliver traffic to them. So these are what we call sister blogs. So if you create the first blog, you start educating people based on the whatever information you want to provide to them. You go and start another one. For 2 years, you're building an email list on this. And another 2 years, you're building an email list on another blog. By the time you launch this e-commerce website, you're not going to need to spend thousands to advertise so that you can drive traffic to these products. No, because you already have traffic source. That's why 70% of traffic that's coming from here, when it gets on this website, is converting. Nearly 18% of the 200,000 people who come from this website, they end up buying products here. That's 3,000 units. Almost 3,000 units of products is sold because of traffic that's coming from this website. So if you are going to launch if you're going to launch a product on the market, have your goals set straight. I'm going to start a blog first. When I've started my blog, I'm going to build an email list on that blog, And that email list is what I'm going to use to launch my blog to, my e-commerce website to. I'm going to launch my first line of products. That first line of products is going to be launched to my first email. And why is that important? It's important because when you have launched your product and it's doing very well on the market, your product users, they are going to become ambassadors for your product. So don't be driven by the results. People will never just show up at your shop, at your blog, just because you've put it together. And if you think you're going to build an e-commerce website because everyone is talking about Shopify, and you're going to start it because everyone is talking about Facebook ads and stuff like that, you're mistaken. If I want to advertise, all I have to do is just drop a pixel. And that pixel is going to tag each and everyone who interacts with my content here. So if I go on Facebook and say, I want to advertise so that I can increase traffic that's going on my website, people who have been on my blog would be interested in these products because there's a reason why they ended up interacting with my content on my blog like that, right? So if I go on Facebook and create a pixel, obviously that pixel is going to, Facebook is going to be capable of creating a lookalike audience for me from my custom audience that has been built from the pixel that I dropped on my blog here. So that custom audience is what is going to give me a broader audience of people who look like, and they deal, they deal with the exact issues and stuff like that to people who have already interacted with my blog. So I could have only 10,000 people who came on my blog and ended up back on Facebook. But out of those 10,000, if I get a lookalike from Facebook using the pixel, Facebook will create even 2 million people that I can reach to, right? So if I go and put my content in front of them or my products in front of them, it's a lot easier, it's a lot cheaper, and it's a lot easier to advertise to people that you know that they are predisposed to be interested in buying what? These products. Alright? Okay, so guys, I'm going to leave, links below this video. And if you guys need help, and if you have a vision to sort of like launch your own product in the next couple of months, it could be in 12 months time or 18 or 24 months time. There's a link below this video where you could get all the resources that you need. There are tools that you need to put in place to make sure that you are able to do this. If you're going to start a blog, obviously you're going to need you're going to need a domain, you're going to need web hosting, but you're also going to need an email list builder, or what we call autoresponder and stuff like that. So I'm going to drop all the links of the stuff you need, and I'm also going to give you a link below this video to a check sheet that you can download today. But remember, we also run a Facebook group, and if you guys are interested in learning more how you could equally move yourself from this bracket to this bracket, become a successful blogger who is richer and making money, then subscribe. Alright? Cheers, guys.